Most fish swim. This one walks. Using two pairs of fins that look and move almost exactly like small legs, the batfish pushes itself slowly across the ocean floor. One careful step at a time, rather than swimming through open water the way almost every other fish does. This is genuinely unusual behavior for a fish, and it raises an obvious question. Fins are built for swimming. So why would any fish evolve to use them for walking instead, especially in an environment, the open ocean, that seems built entirely around swimming as the default way to get around? Let's start with what the batfish's body actually looks like, because its whole shape is dramatically different from a typical, fast-swimming fish. Instead of a smooth, streamlined body built to slice efficiently through water, a batfish has a wide, flattened, almost disc-shaped body, often covered in small bumps or spines. Its pectoral fins, the pair normally found on the sides of most fish, and its pelvic fins, found lower down near the belly, have both become thickened, muscular, and distinctly limb-like in shape, extending outward from the body almost exactly like a set of small legs. This body plan makes the batfish a genuinely poor swimmer. Its flattened, heavy shape creates a lot of drag moving through water, and its fins simply aren't built with the kind of thin, flexible structure that makes fast swimming efficient in most other fish species. Rather than fighting against this limitation, the batfish appears to have leaned fully into an entirely different strategy. Instead of trying to swim well despite a body poorly suited for it, it uses those same modified fins to walk directly along the seafloor instead. The walking motion itself works in a surprisingly coordinated way. The batfish pushes off the sandy or muddy bottom using its leg-like fins in a slow, deliberate, alternating pattern, moving one side and then the other, closely resembling the basic walking motion of a four-legged land animal far more than typical fish locomotion. This lets the batfish move with real control and precision along the seafloor, adjusting its position carefully as it searches for food rather than relying on the fast, sweeping tail movement most fish use to swim. So why would walking actually be a better strategy for this particular fish than swimming, given how much of the ocean is built around swimming as the standard method of getting around? The answer likely comes down to how the batfish actually hunts. Unlike fast, active predators that chase down prey through open water, batfish are ambush hunters, relying on staying still and luring prey close rather than actively pursuing it. For a hunting strategy built entirely around patience and stillness, being an efficient, fast swimmer isn't really necessary. What matters much more is the ability to move slowly and precisely along the bottom, conserving energy while searching for a good ambush position rather than burning significant energy swimming through open water where this fish isn't especially efficient anyway. This connects directly to one of the batfish's most distinctive hunting tools. Many batfish species have a small, specialized structure on top of their head called an elysium, a modified fin ray that works almost exactly like a fishing rod, tipped with a small lure called an esker. This is the same basic hunting strategy used by anglerfish, a group of fish closely related to batfish. The batfish can extend this small lure out in front of its mouth, wiggling it to attract the attention of small prey animals nearby. Once prey gets close enough, investigating what looks like a small, promising meal, the batfish can strike quickly, snapping its mouth forward to catch it. Walking fits perfectly into this overall hunting strategy, since the batfish depends on staying mostly still and luring prey toward it rather than chasing anything down. It doesn't need to cover large amounts of open water quickly the way an active predator would. What it needs instead is the ability to carefully, quietly reposition itself along the seafloor, finding a good spot to settle into an ambush position, without wasting unnecessary energy in the process. Walking, slow and controlled, accomplishes exactly that while swimming. Something its body isn't especially well suited for anyway would likely burn more energy than it's worth for an animal relying primarily on patience rather than speed. One particularly well-known batfish species, sometimes called the red-lipped batfish because of its strikingly bright red mouth, adds another interesting layer to this story. Researchers studying this species believe the vivid red colouring may play a role in recognition between individuals of the same species or possibly in attracting a mate, though this specific function isn't yet fully confirmed. What is clear is that this same species relies on the same basic walking strategy as its relatives, using its leg-like fins to move carefully along the seafloor near certain island regions, rather than swimming through open water the way most fish would. Batfish also aren't a single species doing exactly the same thing everywhere. There are dozens of recognized batfish species spread across warm coastal waters around the world, from shallow reef edges down to deeper parts of the continental shelf, each one sharing the same basic walking body plan while differing slightly in size, colour and spine pattern to match its own particular stretch of seafloor. It also helps to compare this to how much energy active swimming actually requires for a typical fast-swimming fish. Fast, continuous swimming demands a steady, significant amount of energy, which works well for predators that need speed to chase down fast-moving prey across open water. An ambush predator gains very little from that kind of investment, since its success depends on staying still and waiting rather than covering distance quickly. Spending less energy moving around, even if it means moving much more slowly than most fish, leaves more energy available for growth, reproduction, and simply outlasting long stretches without a successful catch. Walking isn't a limitation the batfish is stuck with. It's a genuinely efficient choice for the way this fish hunts. Put all of this together and the walking batfish turns out to be a clear example of an animal built entirely around a specific, patient hunting strategy rather than around speed or efficient open water swimming. A flattened, heavy body poorly suited for fast swimming. Fins reshaped into sturdy leg-like limbs built for careful, controlled movement instead, and a built-in fishing lure used to draw prey close rather than chasing it down. None of these traits would make sense for a typical, fast-swimming predator. But for a slow, patient ambush hunter, walking across the ocean floor turns out to be exactly the right tool for the job.